Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm showing you the first phase of my Specialized Rockhopper upgrades. I bought this bike back, I don't know, March, I guess, of 2019. It was an impulse purchase, but I have not regretted it for a moment. It is just an amazingly fun hardtail bike, even though it's an entry-level bike. But entry-level doesn't mean inadequate. That said, it's been a year, it's time for some upgrades. So in phase one, I did new pedals, a shorter stem, and a dropper seat post. The dropper seat post didn't go quite as I expected, and you'll see what I mean. In this video, I'm going to show you how I installed new pedals, a new stem, and a dropper seat post on my 2019 Specialized Rockhopper. The great thing about this project is these are all easy upgrades. I bought this bike in spring of 2019, and I've been riding it in largely stock form since then. I did replace the factory pedals with cheap alloy ones early on, and I swapped a mildly swept Wake 720mm bar for the relatively flat factory bar. The costs and specs for the new components are in the description below. So, let's start with the pedals and work our way up. On the left is one of the factory plastic pedals. In the middle is a Lumen Trail alloy pedal, and on the right a new RockBros resin pedal. The factory pedals have molded in pins for traction, and these are okay, but honestly that's about the best that I can say about them. The Lumen Trail pedals are alloy, as I said, and they have replaceable pins. They were certainly a step up from the factory set, but they are a bit heavy and they could spin better on their axles. The RockBros are clearly copies of race-face Chesters with resin bodies and replaceable pins. I've used them before and I like them quite well. The installation is a pretty straightforward proposition. Just remove the old pedals and wind in the new ones. One thing to remember is that on both sides, installation requires you to rotate them forward to tighten. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Moving up and forward, we come to the stem. As I mentioned, last year I installed a 720mm Wake handlebar with a mild sweep. That gave me a slightly better upright riding position. However, I was still riding with the stock 90mm aluminum stem. I'm replacing it with a 45mm Wake aluminum stem. I've been using this Wake stem and bar combination for a while now on several bikes with really good success. At the end of the day, they are solid and affordable. The swap begins with removing the stem cap, which will allow you to slide the stem up. Then remove the front retention plates and set aside the handlebar assembly. After loosening the steerer tube clamp bolts, just slide the old one off. Now, I was a little surprised to see some surface rust, which I cleaned up and greased. Installation of the new stem is equally easy, and as they say, assembly is reverse of disassembly. I'm not sure if this or the pedals is the easier upgrade. At any rate, here we go with the final adjustments and tightening done. I really do think that this shorter stem is going to improve my comfort and my riding position. Moving rearward, we come to the seat post upgrade. The dropper post comes with a tube, cable ties, a trigger, and various bits and pieces. The cable clamp is a 1mm nut. I mean, that is tiny. And you can see at the knife point here. Now this would be way too easy to drop and lose outdoors, so I took the trigger in for assembly. I was going to run the cable for the dropper post through the down tube and then externally up the seat tube, since the KS eTen is an external post. As it turned out, the external cable was too short to accommodate this. So I went with plan B, and I installed it entirely externally for the short term. The actual replacement of the seat tube is as easy as pie. Just loosen the seat tube clamp and remove the original fixed height post. And I took this opportunity to do a bit of cleaning, and oddly there was grit inside the seat tube. Anyway, then apply grease to the lower portion of the new post and install it. It's that easy. Tighten up the seat clamp enough to hold the tube in place without limiting its vertical travel. Install the trigger on the handlebar, followed by the brake shifter unit and the grip. And after that, it's just a simple matter of attaching the cable to the dropper trigger, running the cable through the outer housing, and then adjusting the length. And I'm pleased to report that it works perfectly. The stem and pedals are about as straightforward as it gets to upgrade. The real trick is picking components that you like. As to the KS dropper post, I like its ease of installation and the robust feeling of the materials. It feels solid. The cable length, well, honestly, that's kind of specific to my installation. I can't blame them for that. And I'm just going to go get a longer outer cable and run it inside the down tube like I originally planned. One thing I don't necessarily like is the lack of adjustment of the saddle angle, unless there's something that I missed on their website. But, you know, on balance, these upgrades went pretty well, and I am pleased with them. I hope that you enjoyed this look at the upgrades for my Rockhopper. Phase 2 is going to be a 1x conversion up front from the stock 3x, and phase 3 is going to be the installation of a new rear derailleur and a 9-speed wide ratio cassette with a 40-tooth climbing gear. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It does help. And if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. Below left is a link to a playlist for the Rockhopper, and below right is a link to another video which I think you'll enjoy. Stay safe, stay healthy, be happy. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it when you do. Bye.